What if you were never too sensitive? Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that feeling deeply was something to hide. Maybe you were told that you were dramatic, too emotional, too sensitive, too much. You started editing yourself. You learned to stay calm instead of honest, helpful instead of authentic, strong instead of vulnerable. But here's the question I want you to consider. What if your emotions were never the problem? What if no one ever taught you what they were actually for? One of the biggest misconceptions about emotional intelligence is that emotionally intelligent people somehow feel less. They don't. They simply understand what they're feeling, why they're feeling it, and how to manage it. That is a very different skill because emotions aren't problems to somehow eliminate. They are information to understand, to utilize. Think of your emotional life like a woven tapestry. Joy, grief, some anger, some wonder, some awe, some fear, love, disappointment, hope. Every emotion is a thread. Remove the darker threads because they're uncomfortable, and you don't create a more beautiful tapestry. You create one with less depth, less contrast, less humanity. Truth number one I want to share with you is you cannot selectively numb your emotions. Your nervous system doesn't work that way. People often think, I'll just stop feeling the painful emotions. But your nervous system doesn't separate grief from gratitude, or fear from excitement, or sadness from tenderness. When you disconnect from one part of your emotional world, you often reduce access to all of it. This is why so many people who spend years surviving eventually describe themselves the same way. It's not peaceful, it's not free, just flat, numb, disconnected, like they're watching life instead of participating in it. Truth number two, feeling deeply is not the same as being emotionally dysregulated. This is where people confuse emotional intensity with emotional capacity. You can have very big emotions and still be emotionally grounded. You can cry and still make wise decisions. You can feel afraid and still move forward with courage. Emotional intelligence isn't about avoiding emotion. It is about staying connected to yourself while you are experiencing it. Truth number three, often what hurts isn't the emotion. It is what the emotion came to mean. Maybe sadness was ignored, maybe anger created conflict, maybe excitement was dismissed, or sensitivity was criticized. Over time, your nervous system starts making associations. I feel this, I won't be accepted. So you stop expressing it. Not because the emotion is dangerous, but because your nervous system learned that that wasn't emotionally safe. Those are very different things. Truth number four, the goal isn't constant happiness. The goal is emotional integrity, because a full human life includes joy and grief and certainty and uncertainty, connection and loss. The opposite of pain isn't happiness. The opposite of pain is numbness. And numbness costs us far more than discomfort ever will. Truth number five, if you've spent years believing you're too sensitive, I'd like to offer you another possibility. Maybe your sensitivity isn't a weakness. Maybe it is simply a nervous system that notices more, feels more, processes more. Sensitivity becomes a burden when it isn't understood, but when it's supported, it becomes empathy, discernment, wisdom, connection. And those are the foundations of emotional intelligence. Your emotional range doesn't need to shrink. It needs to become safer to experience because emotional intelligence isn't learning to feel less. It's learning to understand yourself well enough that your emotions become guides instead of threats. That is the work that I teach. If you're ready to better understand your emotions, your empathy, and your nervous system, you'll find 3 tools and deeper resources in the link below. If this helped you see yourself differently, subscribe for more conversations just like this. I am Chrissy, the Emotional Intelligence Nurse, and I will see you around.